haven't repositioned myself yet. I've only just put a blanket over me and my doggy. Whoa, what's that? Okay, folks. Hello, hello. I am Delta Mike. This is, well, the channel is Delta Mike Down and Out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, as I've just said, that's me. Down and out. A homeless guy, a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, some might say a bum, someone who lives rough or on the streets, or in my case, in a field. Fortunately in a tent nowadays, but it wasn't always so. This is a TrampCast Hangout. I haven't done a proper TrampCast in ages, but the Hangouts are a more informal, more flexible affair. Hopefully. We'll give it a minute or three for people to arrive. I currently don't have a drink poured, so I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with an orange. I want the soft drinks to begin with. I do have a few beers lying around. Give us a second, folks. I am running late, so preparations weren't fully in place yet. What's that on the... Oh, that's something behind my head. I thought it was something on the screen. What is it? Okay, it's this. It's the other set of lights that I'm not using. A little bit more orange in the glass. Hold on, folks. I'm sure by now someone will have typed something into chat. Now, like I was saying, the Hangouts are a bit more informal. There's more back and forth between me and you. So this does rely on you using chat. So you need to have chat open, and do not just leave it on the default setting of top chat. You want to select live chat. And then we can talk to each other. Mr. S will mostly be lurking tonight. There's something... Hold on here. The phone was rocking. That's better. Let me get Mr. S back. Mr. Torrevieja in the Netherlands says he will mostly be lurking this evening. Also, good evening, folks. Good evening, Mr. S. Good evening, everybody else. Just giving it a minute or two while you all arrive. I think we've got a moth or something in here somewhere. I'm hoping it's a moth. I think the noise I'm hearing is like a buzzing against the roof of the tent. I'm hoping it's that rather than scurrying feet on the floor of the tent. Although, I'm my own worst enemy. I've got quite a lot of food in here. It's not in boxes. And I haven't baited my mouse traps in a few weeks, I don't think. So maybe I'll have to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow night I'll get those baited and we'll test, see whether we catch anything. I've seen no signs of anything. There's no signs of any mice in here after the incident a couple of months ago where they got into my box of chocolates. Little buggers. Fortunately, it was the death of them. I put the traps around the chocolates and in they came a couple of days later, and we got them both in one night. I wouldn't normally celebrate death, but when you were plagued with them like I was, I think it was the first three or so months of the year when they would come in. Just wait for the motorbike to pass. The mice would come in more than one at a time and run around through there for about 3 hours with me trying to chase them and smack them. I didn't have mouse traps at the time. So again, Adam and Mel, who got me the mouse traps way back 6, 7, 8 months ago, whenever that would have been. Thank you again, folks. I don't know if you still watch. I hope so, but let's see, anybody else chatting? Sign of Nature. Oh, let me... No, I don't know if I've got a name for you. I don't know if I've got a name in mind. I kind of did have, but I don't want to get the names wrong. You know what I'm like. I'm bad with them. I am bad with the names. Give us a second. Let me see if I can navigate around. No, that's not the one. How did I open the wrong? Okay, here we go. No. I do not have a note of a name for Sign of Nature. Some people I have a little note on. Feasting on the Cliff. Remind me, which cliff where? Where are you? Where are you? I'll just type something in here. Okay. Now we've got to bring the chat back up because it fades so quickly. So anyway, if you read the title of the stream tonight, I don't really have much in the way of topics predetermined to talk about. In fact, I've got pretty much nothing. But I do this every now and again. I'll kind of try and invite new people in particular people who are feeling kind of little and lost and lonely, or maybe a little bit down. You could consider making a name cheat sheet. What do you think I was just looking at on the tablet? I have my Samsung Notes app, which I've been finding really useful because it does usually synchronize correctly between the tablet and the phone. So I can type something on whichever one I'm on, and it shows up on the other. Every now and again, I do something wrong, and it doesn't synchronize. I think it's because I've got power management on both. I've got the battery. I don't know what you want to call it. Let me look and see what it's called. If I can do this without clicking in the wrong place at the wrong time. They call it... I can't see. Does that scroll? No? Does it drag down for more? Okay. It's power saving mode. Apparently if you've got that turned on, it doesn't always synchronize, and so you can end up making a change on one device, and when you make a change on the other, you end up with two edited and non-synchronized versions, and then you've got to go through and try and spot the differences, try and run a diff over them. You're wondering why I didn't use the tablet for streaming. I think the phone has a better front-facing camera than the tablet. Is this front-facing? Or is that... I don't know which is front and which is back. I don't know. Who decides? But the camera that faces me when I'm looking at the screen is better on the phone than the one on the tablet. Plus, when I want to look up notes or something, it's going to be bigger on the tablet. So that's the reason for that. Okay, folks, thumbs up if you would. If we've got anybody new in that is lurking, feel free to lurk. But if you do want to say hello at some point, we're here for you. Come and talk with me and my pals. Still waiting for people to arrive. It's a bit of a slow start. I do just need to clean my glasses by the looks of things. They're a little bit cloudy. I have managed to keep hold of a microfiber cloth for once, so they shouldn't deteriorate as rapidly with me using just whatever t-shirt or towel comes to hand when they need a wipe. Okay, they're clean, but a little bit smeary still. That'll wear off. Okay, folks, topics. What does anybody want to talk about? Face facing, yeah, that would work. The face facing camera. I guess it's the selfie camera, isn't it? Sign of Nature said feasting on cliff and then didn't answer any more questions about what cliff where we're at. Maybe he meant I'm feasting on a cliff. Not sure. I'm not too far from a cliff. Oh, interesting day, folks. Quiet. It got warm and I had to put the fan on all afternoon, which I haven't been doing most days this week. Most days I've been able to manage without the fan. And then Sandra, if you remember the lady that customised Tina's chariot, she's back in the country and she stopped by to say hello and wanted to see Tina in the chariot but had things to do. So I put her off. Tomorrow I'm gonna put Tina in her chariot again and take her out so that Sandra can see her in it. And we're gonna go for a reasonable length walk and maybe stop for a coffee somewhere. So that'd be nice. Get Tina out in her chariot again. I did take her out a couple of times this week. I think I've mentioned Friday it would have been, wouldn't it? I mentioned that that we'd been out for breakfast one day this week with my friend Ismo Finlandia. So she's getting used to it a little bit. We are getting out and about. We've been along. I took her along the cliff tops a few days ago, but it was cloudy. I decided I wanted to do a sunrise video the next morning, and I got up. We were up and out at kind of 7:30 doing the normal walkies, but when I looked over, so sunrise is somewhere around 8 o'clock. When I looked over, we had a clear sky all the way down, just on the horizon, a thick band of dark cloud. I think it was coming this way as well, so that wasn't going to work. So I put that off for a day and didn't do that. But at least we got out that day before and she had a little trot around the backs where we haven't been much recently. So that was nice. Nice to get her out and about a couple of times this last week. And for one of them to be a long walk. Is Tina's health stable? Gotta be careful what I say. I don't think so, no. I think she's in a deterioration phase again. Yeah. What can I say? She isn't as in touch. She isn't as in control of her bowel as I would like. It seems to take her by surprise, either really short notice or sometimes we're just sat outside or something and it just happens and she doesn't seem to know until it's happening. So things are getting a little bit dodgy on that score. And again, I think it's part of this. The way that the back half isn't working seems to be deteriorating. Also, her front legs aren't always as strong and stable as I think they were. I might be imagining this. It might just be that she's having to do a lot of work pulling herself around and everything, but she does seem to stumble and fumble. Yesterday, after she'd had her meal, her food at night, she was drinking water and she managed to just put her paw right on the edge of the bowl and knock the whole lot, a full bowl of water, upside down on the tent floor. Now accidents happen anyway. I mean that it just seems to be happening quite a bit. That she either falls to the floor or stumbles or. So no, I don't think it's stable. I don't think we've got forever. If you watch any of my videos from just before last Christmas, I didn't think she'd make it past February or March. But we did hit a period of stability where things weren't deteriorating. So I guess it goes in phases. It goes in. This again makes me think it's not just what the vet said about it just being the spinal injury. I've seen a deterioration I think it's something more like MS or something. It's something, nerve signals getting confused, getting lost. I remember I told you one of the early signs that something was wrong was when I tickled her. She used to have a very specific spot that you tickle, and the one leg would go wild, one of the back legs. It got to the point where you could tickle her anywhere, and she'd kind of collapse. The muscles went, the legs went, the back legs. So there's been this gradual deterioration. Whatever she needs, whatever I can do, if she needs me to carry her around, pick her up and put her in a. See, it's still difficult getting her into her wheelchair, into the chariot. She struggles against it. And then there's the issue, her back legs tend to cross over. And then you're trying to put her into something and get each leg into a separate stirrup type setup. It's actually two on each side. One to kind of support somewhere around the knee, and the other to catch the paw or foot. So trying to get her into that while she's wriggling and struggling, and these two legs are crossed, and you've got to get her into these stirrupy things. Yeah. And I have to take her for a quick walkies before I try and put her into the thing, otherwise she'll either pee or poo over it while I'm trying to put her in it, or she'll pee or poo down me. That's what happened when the police first brought the doggy wheelchair around. I didn't even notice. I had dog poo down my trouser leg and sat on my foot. Dogs! I see there's a message. Let me scroll back. Okay. Well, Marie said something and then retracted it. Maybe there's a typo, or maybe she was in the wrong window. Have you ever done that, folks? I've done that. You go to type into instant messenger or something while you're watching a video, and you you type a private message that was meant for somebody over there, and you type it in chat where it doesn't belong. We've all done it, probably. Cheers, folks, with my orange juice. Oh, we haven't. Let me see. We haven't shown it to you tonight yet, have we? Give it a second. You now have to scroll to find the light. Hey, babe. Hey, Tina. Say hello to the peoples. Hey, baby girl. Hey, baby. You're not under the blanket. Why are you not under the blanket? Did I pull it off you? That's always possible. She's over there anyway, folks. Hey, you trying to turn around that way? That's going to be awkward. No. Okay. I'll leave you alone. She doesn't really like the light being on. Oh. Like I said the other day, I don't want to be a... I know everybody loves Tina. I just don't want to be a... one of these channels where they've got the dog as a prop. She's not a prop. She's very much part of my life. I spend an awful lot of time walking up and down the road carrying her back end. Not just a prop. She's my weightlifting exercise. That's my girl. She is a trooper indeed, Marie. She is. Never any sign of pain. If anybody's new here and wonders, there's no sign of pain. Like I said, I'm carrying her up and down. I've got a belt that I strap under her waist, wrap it round my wrist a couple of times, and hoik her as high off the ground as I can. Because sometimes her toes will drag on the floor and she gets little grazes. We don't want that. So I have to try and... But it used to be that she'd pull them up a little bit herself. And now, like I said, they just hang down and cross over. And they do drag if I'm not concentrating. So I have to pick her as high up as I can, and then we go for our walkies. She'll pick her legs up. She'll pull her knees up when she wants to wee. When she wants to urinate, she'll It's quite funny because her back end's entirely off the ground and she pulls her legs up and I'd swear she smiles. And I shout, "Whee!" It's all a bit childish, but hey, when you got a disabled dog, what do? You do whatever you need to do. Carry her up and down. I spent this evening as well listening out for kids because one day this week, I can't remember when, Tuesday or Wednesday, I had a gang come back and I think they were younger though, and there was only one stone hit the tent, and it was a very small stone, and it hit very lightly. But it's been a little while now since the other group were here throwing, the older teenagers, and well, not older teenagers, but probably teenagers. So every time I could hear kids' voice, because usually they're not quiet about it. They come down the road laughing and giggling, and then it stops. And then maybe you'll hear them put their scooter or their bike down. And so then I've got to scramble to the door as quick as possible to try to run the buggers off. So today I was very tense from kind of 4 o'clock while kind of 8. Somewhere between 7 and 8, half 7ish or something, I think it gets dark. But I have had them come here and throw stones, I think as late as 10 o'clock one time. That was at the start of summer. They haven't done that again that late since then. Once it gets dark, usually I'm safe. But I was listening out just because it's been a while. Which sounds crazy that the fact that they haven't been is like a red flag. What can you do? Has the vet been back? Oscar asks. No. Oscar in Nottinghamshire. The vet never did come back. The vet was pushing, basically, here's a month's worth of painkillers and some anti-inflammatories, and if that doesn't work, we'll have to, and it was left kind of hanging like that, but you know where they're going with it. I just heard two bumps, one in the field, one in the road. What time are we on? Coming up for 10:30. No, I don't think it would be them. It would be them. There was a gang of older kids hanging about on the cliff tops earlier. I was a little worried when they first walked past, but they got alongside, and then they shone torches and things at the tent. But then they carried on. I'm worrying about nothing, probably, folks. Worrying about nothing. Just scroll back and make sure I've. So yeah. Join us in chat, folks. You want to have live chat, all messages enabled, so you don't miss anything. And come and talk. Well, like I said before, I haven't got any topics tonight, which is why I kind of tried to throw it open and invite some new people in. Anybody out there that's feeling little and lost and lonely, a little bit depressed maybe, or just bored. We all know how that can be. Thumbs ups are always appreciated, folks, if you haven't already, just as a little hint. I don't know. Okay, some more people arriving according to my counter here. Bit of a slow one tonight. And again, it's probably not helped by the fact I don't have any topics to talk about. Shall we see if I can find some? Let's find some sciencey stuff, or tech, or space. Oh, that interstellar object, the comet that's not from our solar system. That's about to make its closest approach to the sun, isn't it? Where am I going to go? Let's just go science news and see what happens. If anybody's got any questions or topics though that they want to talk about, I'm open to it. What have we got? What have we got? Paleontology. They found some bumblebees with their pollen. I assume that's in amber. Okay, pollen-coated bees were found in sediment. Well, okay. You live and you learn. I always assume that something like that insect is going to be in amber, but shush. So, how old are they, and will they get DNA from it? I'm not seeing an age. Oh, okay, 24 million years ago. You're not going to get DNA out of that. And fossilized, so no. Turn to stone, isn't it? What do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. I think I might have mentioned it a few weeks ago. Turns out that people emit light while we're alive. Very faint, obviously, because nobody's ever seen it. But nowadays you've got light detectors, camera type things that can go right down. But at the point of death, the light stops, giving rise to all sorts of, well, you could have religiosity, but you could also have the aura kind of people. Oh, well, cleanse your aura. I don't know what, has that got a proper name? But it gives rise to that as well, doesn't it? You'll have all sorts of pseudo-scientific mumbo-jumbo kind of jumping on the bandwagon with that one. The fact that we have this life energy that glows, and the moment we die, or at the moment the cells die, I guess, it stops being produced. What does everyone think of that one? Oh, chat is jumping about for me again, folks, isn't it always? Marie talking about Tina, neuro damage perhaps, like motor neuron disease. Large dogs are prone to that kind of ailment. No pain but loss of feeling. Yeah, I know that what in England we call Alsatians, but the rest of the world calls German Shepherds. They suffer particularly from the back leg thing. I don't know whether it's usually just the back legs or whether it carries on as a deterioration and ends with other organs and things. I don't know. I should look it up more. IR versus visible light. I think it's a form of visible light, Mr. S. Did I see it here, or did I just remember it? I'm not sure whether I just saw it or whether I was remembering. Okay, we all have a tiny glow of light, so let's have a look. Normal cellular processes create biophotons, though the light is not visible to the naked eye. Oh, and then you have to log in to carry on. I hate that kind of shit. I think I fell for it once on this particular site, and I signed in with Google, so they got my Google account details, and they only let me read 2 more articles before saying now you'll have to pay or wait a month. I'm the kind of guy that can't only read three stories a month. So that was sciencenews.org. I'll have to go to a different site. Because that's annoying. BBC for science? Not really. So I saw a video just, I don't know, maybe half an hour before I went live about this great new advancement in cars. And it was just that cars running on hydrogen. Not burning it, it goes into it gets put through a process, and I don't know, how does it go? They split some ions off so that the positive and negative charged or whatever go different paths, and then they bring in oxygen from outside as the car's driving, and I don't know, do something there, and it creates electricity. And it's like, yeah, I've been watching that since about 1970s on Tomorrow's World on TV. They like to hype up these great new advancements, and they're minor refinements of things that already exist. Hold on. Blood tests for Alzheimer's finally approved. It's just a second one. They've got one already. I don't know, folks. It looks like a slow news week, really. I don't know. Where's the exciting stuff, folks? Where's the exciting stuff? Have you guys seen any interesting news? Science, technology, space, whatever. There was the SpaceX. They got the big one up again, didn't they, into the air? Actually into space for, is it just the second time it's actually made it properly up there? What's it called? When it was first announced, it was going to be called something like the fucking big rocket or something, wasn't it? Elon. Is there a menu? Can I pick space here? Content. Oh no, because this is nature. It's not going to have that, is it? Pick a different one. We'll give the BBC a go just for a minute. I won't hang about here too long. Hopefully it takes me straight into marine sciencey stuff. Let's see if there's a separate space. No. We've got science or tech. Where do you think they're going to put space? I'll go science. Let's have a quick look. Just a quick one. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, here we go, space. Starship, that's its modern name. It's just the first time they've had it come back and land successfully. They had it come back and land, and then didn't it explode or fall over? Fall over and explode. I think that was the last time, wasn't it? I'm not sure that they're making the kind of progress that they should be when it comes to space. Aren't we supposed to be back on the moon already? Now they're saying 2027. I'm sure it was meant to be this year that we were going originally. Yeah, the one rocket this year exploded on its test stand. Oh, exploded on the test stand in June. So what was the one that landed and fell over? I haven't actually followed any of this week. I didn't watch. I haven't watched anything about it. I just had a vague idea that it had gone up and actually made it into space, which is fucking rare for the thing. What is it? Its 11th or 12th launch? Somehow here they managed not to give a number. No idea. Parts of the engine appeared to explode at one stage and flaps on the side of the rocket caught fire. I don't think I'd be sitting on top of it. I don't know, folks. Let's put that down. You didn't come here just to watch me reading articles off of a website. But I haven't got much to say, so we might call it quits early. The article, Mr. S, if you're still there, the article didn't mention the wavelengths or the types of light. It just said very low level light. Too low for humans to see, obviously, but I don't know, folks. Struggling for topics. What are we going to talk about? I just grin inanely at the Elon wants a Falcon 2 to go to Mars next year. Can the Falcons do that? I thought they were low Earth orbit or delivery. Falcon 2. I mean, even if it goes further, Mars is a... I guess you only have to point it in the right direction and have the engines going for a little bit, don't you? And then it'll go. Inertia and all that. Is there really a difference between infrared and visible? Can't be that much of a difference, can it? Because your phone camera picks up infrared. Oh, but some phone cameras do. You know, if you press the TV remote control, you can't see the little dot on the top, but your camera can. So yeah, it's just wavelengths, isn't it? Is there any difference between any of it? Light, X-rays, radio waves, they're all just part of a literal spectrum. So yeah, don't know. And I'm sitting at a funny angle again. Are you asleep, Brit? She's asleep. Okay. Oh no, you're not. Okay, you just suddenly got up. Everything okay? Lay down again. I didn't mean to disturb you. I just thought you were sleeping funny. There's my girl again. Oh, talk about you and how you grew up. Okay, you got any questions about me? Fire away. I mean, I've covered them all multiple times, so I don't want to bore the long-term regulars too much. But yeah, I can give a quick. Everything you need to know is in TrampCast 001. But I can't get comfortable, folks. And I'm garrotting my gonads. I'm going to switch to some two-fisted drinking. I've still got some orange there, but I'm going to open a beer. Cheers, guys and gals. Cheers, everybody. Especially those of you that hit the thumbs up. We're going to do a little bit of talking about me because we couldn't think what else to talk about. Live chat again. You always want to be on live chat, folks. Talk about how you grew up. Did you play sports, etc., hobbies? Okay. So originally, I'm from a village called Darfield, which is a derivation of Deerfield, just outside Barnsley, South Yorkshire. What else is there to say? I was a precocious little sod. The teachers quickly nicknamed me the Professor. I wasn't. Oh, I played out a lot because it was the 70s. We all went out on our bikes. We were all very independent kids, off running around and riding our bikes, playing hide and seek, running through farmers' fields. We had a coal mine in or on the edge of the village, and we used to we'd find these baskets that we used to deliver bread to the supermarkets, and we'd steal the delivery baskets, and we'd take off and we'd go down to the slag heaps, and we'd slide down the slag heaps, the spoil heaps outside the coal mine. And we would come home just black bright, like covered in coal dust. Parents would go ape. So we were always in trouble for stuff like that. There was a quarry nearby, a disused quarry, abandoned quarry, that nobody had done anything with. Nowadays they fill them in and they landscape them and they put a lake in the middle, and we didn't have any of that. So we were riding our bikes around the edges of the cliffs on this quarry, and on some of the bits where they'd quarried, I was going to say mined the stone, but quarried the stone, there'd be ledges. We were riding our bikes along these ledges just to see if they went anywhere. Imagine getting to the end and you turn a corner and oh no, it doesn't go anywhere. And you're on this bloody ledge. And now you've got to try and turn your bike around on a ledge and come back. We did the craziest shit. If you saw a kid now on that ledge, you'd be calling the cops, or a fire brigade or an ambulance. I mean, Christ. There was this water treatment thing, and it wasn't a macerator in the water, but the big sign saying danger, fucking likelihood of death if you go in here. On hot days, we'd go and swim in it. And once it started up, and it, like I said, it wasn't a macerator, but it was like it was an inlet into something. It created a whirlpool, and we're all swimming like shit to not get dragged into this automated fucking whatever it was, but this whirlpool. So we did a lot of crazy stuff, jumping off bridges and stuff, like everybody did back then. All the stuff that people don't do now, kids don't do. Or they do, but they do it a lot later. Like we were 7, 8, 9 doing this crazy stuff. Now they're 13, 14, 15 before they're out on their own for the first time. So you've got almost full-grown men causing trouble instead of 7, 8, 9-year-olds. What else? I was a runner. I was a runner at school in the cross-country teams and stuff. Also track, obviously, yeah, track running. I was 1,500 meters was my distance really. I'd do the 800 as well, but that was too much of a sprint for me. That was run around the track twice, only twice. I was a little bit too slow for that. Football teams occasionally. I wasn't really the best. I was a good defender. I could see where I needed to be to block the ball and to block passes, but wasn't that interested. So once we got to high school kind of level, I got called into the team occasionally, but usually as a last resort when nobody else was available. yeah, I don't know what else to say. When I was 15, my parents decided to jump the Pennines and move from from Yorkshire to Lancashire, and we moved to Morecambe and Lancaster kind of area. Um, I haven't mentioned my face issue thing, have I? I got the cherubism thing. Um, I think I mentioned it the other night, so it might even have been you that was asking, Marie. Um, I don't have it as bad as some people, but it was noticeable, and people were cruel. So I think that affected my confidence a lot as a kid. So I wasn't as outgoing once I got into my teenage years. I became quite bookish, and computers. Oh yeah, computers. Once we got a computer, I could just sit in the. It was in the spare room. I could just sit in there 12, 15, 18 hours. That'd be the weekend. But yeah. What else? I loved programming. Not just so it wasn't just games, although we did play games. Jet Set Willy, anybody? And Saber Wolf. And all the classics, your Pongs, your Pac-Mans, your Space Invaders. All of those. But I liked programming. I made my own slot machine game. Um, I also I also had a bit of a gambling streak, and I was fascinated by the football pools. And I started doing these weird permutation things, and I wrote I wrote some programs to track league matches and to track the tables to calculate the league tables, but also to try and predict who's likely to draw, which teams are most likely to draw against others. And then when I started doing the football pools, I started programming to check the results. I'd feed in which games were draws or not, and it would spit out from these hundreds and hundreds of different. They weren't full permutations. You did certain combinations, and certain things were excluded, and there was a there was a matrix of which of your X's counted on certain things. It was all a bit complicated, but I created these data tables, entered the results, and it told me, it told me how much I lost that week, I guess. But that was part of me getting hooked on computers, and that tied in with maths as well, I think, to an extent. Although I never went as deep as I should. Never did. I never, when it came to school and things and learning, I used to just read encyclopedias for fun. Encyclopedias, and my parents also bought these books, 365 Things to Know. And there was also a set of books tied in with Magnus Pike and Miriam Stoppard and Rob, whatever he was called. Um, the program was called something like "Don't Ask Me" or "Tell Me Why." One of those will be the name of the TV series, and one of those will be the name of the book or books that went along with the TV series. Stuff like that, and how, and Tomorrow's World, and all of that technology and science and just knowing shit. I just liked to know things. Yeah, I don't know what else was in the question. Oh, Dickie Bird! I didn't know he died. Dickie Bird. He's from Barnsley, isn't he? The cricket umpire. Yeah, Barnsley area. The last I heard, do you remember? It might be 20 years ago now. Wasn't he in a nursing home? And him and some other older folk, as part of an experiment, went to live in just a normal house, but it was decorated with all the stuff from their era, from like when they were in their 20s or 30s, and it was to bring back memories, and the idea was to make them all be more independent. So when they arrived, what was the newspaper editor fella called? Do they mean me? Surely not. Can't remember his name. Jameson? Was it Derek Jameson? I might be pulling that out of nowhere. That might be nothing. That might be someone entirely different. But anyway, when they arrived, like, he couldn't put his socks on. He had so much of a gut, so much of a belly, that he'd had other people putting his socks on for him. And by the time they left this thing, they were a lot more independent. But it's got to be way over 20 years ago. And these people were all on the verge of they were either in care or on the verge of being in care. That was a fascinating experiment. But no, I hadn't heard he died. That's a shame. You missed some questions. Yeah, okay, I'm scrolling back to see what I missed. Did you play sports? Hobbies. Let me just see. Mr. S is going about, he still thinks it's infrared. I think they limit, I don't think it was. I think it was actual visible light, but where's the boundary? I don't know. But it's really low level. I missed that one first time around. So here's Marie. Play sports, hobbies, etc. Hobbies was computers, reading, puzzles. I always like to do puzzles. Yeah. So yeah, I eventually somehow went into sixth form by accident at the end of schooling. It really was by accident. I had no intention of going in. And a friend rang up and said, "Hey, I'm going to go and do the induction or the sign up for sixth form tomorrow. Why don't you come and have a look?" So I did. And I got in to do maths and physics. Who's that? Oh, I know. Maths and physics. The maths teacher really did not like me. In fact, this school was, well, it was bizarre. So, like I said, I was 15 when I transferred there. I was at the beginning of the fourth year, as we called it. I got no idea what that is now. They just add up all the numbers, don't they? It's probably year 10 or 11. I don't know. So yeah, the fourth year of high school, and so I have to see the deputy head to decide. So I'd done my options back in Darfield, and we were like 2 months into the term, into the year, and they wouldn't let me do some of the same things I'd done there. They wouldn't let me in the top set for maths, which I should have been in. They wouldn't let me into that because I refused to do religious studies. Yeah. I said I wasn't interested in learning about religions, so they wouldn't let me in. I had to go into the second set for maths, the second stream. This caused me problems later. In the first year there, while I was in the first year at that school, I kept getting like 95 and 99% on the maths tests, and the same when it came to the exams at the end of that year, to the point where they couldn't deny me going into the top set. They just had to put me into the top set, despite all their protestations. And a bloke called Mr. Cornish really did not want me there, because he was as well as the maths teacher, he was, I think he taught the religious studies as well. He was a very religious bloke anyway. So he was really averse to me being there. And what happened was, these two streams, these two different sets of math, learnt things in a different order. So what one group did in the first year, so fourth and fifth year, what one group did one year, the other group did the next, and vice versa. And so because I changed between the two streams, the two sets, I basically covered the same syllabus both times. but I missed out on being taught the other half, or big chunks of the other half. But I just kind of knew it anyway. didn't didn't hold me back. I got an A, which was a top grade back then. You didn't have these stars and things that you have now, A star and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, that was fourth and fifth year. They really didn't like me being there and picking some of the options that I picked. I wanted to do the cookery class, but they strongly indicated there's only one lad in that class, and he's a little bit whoopsie. They didn't say the words, but the hand gesture was there, and they really dissuaded me from doing the kind of, I guess it would have been home economics, but it wasn't the sewing and all the other stuff. It was cookery. Different age, I guess. Different age. They did things and talked about things differently. Terra Cresta. I don't remember that one. A game on the Spectrum. Okay. No, I don't remember that. What was one of my favourites from way back? I had a thing called a Philips G7000. Very early computer game. Computer console or system. Has a different name in America. But the Philips G7000. What did we play on that? Oh, there was all sorts of ice hockey and Pong type games. I don't really, nothing outstanding. I had a handheld computer game called a Macrovision Blockbuster, probably around 1980. None of these survive. The digital, the screen, I think it was the screen. So you had the console and it had this pad behind it, and then you slid these cartridges in, which were just buttons, a couple of chips at the top, and a gap in the cartridge for the screen to show through in the middle. And you had this, I don't know if it was 8x8 or 10x10 or 12x12 matrix, this grid. But something about either the chemicals in the sticky pad or in the screen leach out over time and corrode the whole thing. It falls apart. So there are, I won't say none, but there are very, very, very few of these Macrovision Blockbuster. Very few of those left. Anyway, yeah. Does anybody want me to go on more about me, or still missed a question? Oh, I didn't see that one. Is Mischievous Night Stroke Halloween the same in Spain as in England? No, why would it be? Oh, well, Mischievous Night isn't Halloween, is it? Mischievous Night, historically, was the night before Bonfire Night. The night when the mischief was done. So that's not. Halloween's probably similar. I mean, it's not like someone's going to come knocking here for trick or treat. And it's not like I'm going to be sat here, single bloke in a field on his own. I'm not going to be having lots of sweeties for the little children, am I? That wouldn't look right. That wouldn't look right. Sorry, Oscar, I did not see that question when I scrolled back. Let me put that down and try and scroll back to see where it was. Ryan in Valencia, Vitruvium. You missed some questions. Where? It is jumping though. In my defence. Okay, there you are. That was quite a while ago now, yeah? Any updates on the fridge decision? I missed that as well, look. No decision made yet. I am in a kind of a pausing kind of phase. I'm not sure which direction to go. whether to go the chest freezer style, you know, that the chest freezer shape, or the more upright. Just give me a second, folks. I just need to pause. I'm going to pause camera and audio just for a second. It's not pausing. Why is that button not working? Come on. I cannot make the camera come back on. Oh, I did then. I think I did, and then it went off again because I was pressing it too rapidly. Anybody got any suggestions? What the hell? Everywhere else on the screen works for a fucking click. It's animating, but it's refusing to turn on. Okay. Who knew? Am I back? Can you see me? Camera is on. It is now, hopefully. It was never off. Oh, don't say that. It had a line through it on the screen here. I just had to check something with my doggy. Camera is on. Was it on all along? I had a line through it. So there was Ryan arriving. Sign of nature says peace. Okay. Chest style is more efficient. Yeah, I know. Alec made a video a while ago. Is that Technology Connections? Is that Alec? I'm not. It was never off. Audio was muted. Yeah, that was I had a line through both on the icon. Then it just wouldn't. Do you know what I had to do in the end to get the line to go away from in the camera? I had to mute the microphone again. I don't know, folks. Well, I hope you didn't see anything untoward when I was checking with my girl. Hey, babe. Let's have a look here. I need to plug the light back in. Where are we? There. Well, that's a little bit. I hate when technology goes wrong. It can get embarrassing, can't it? If I turn the camera off and then, I don't know, start scratching my balls or something, and then the camera wasn't really off, that could have been bad. Like I said, the way I'm sitting as well, or slouching, it does mean that, you know, if you've paid €1 for your undies, you're losing 50 cents. Yeah. Anyway, there's a royal family joke, wasn't it? Now I've got beer dripping off my tash, folks. Dripping off my tash. Let me just see where I am for power. Only on 79% and not showing us charging. Why would that be? Oh, because it turns off at 80 to save the. Because my phone now, since I got the tablet, my phone is used mainly just as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So this tablet, folks, this Samsung, what's it called, the Galaxy A9? No, not A9. Yeah, I don't know if it's an A9 or a 7. I'm not sure. But once powered, it'll go for about 16 hours. So I try and recharge it first thing in the morning, like between 5 and 7, something like that in the morning. Only takes an hour and a half, something like that. And then it works all the way through that day, right through half the night, till I just put it on for an hour. And anytime, if I'm going out or something, I'll put this on to charge. Just if it gets half an hour of charge, that gives it an extra few hours. But I noticed that the battery life on this one was bad from when I got it. But it was it was noticeably deteriorating once I started having it plugged in all day. So I set that 80-20 limit thing. It only charges up to 80 and then it stops, lets the battery run down a bit. When it gets down at a certain point, it starts charging again, just to extend the life of the battery a bit. It was on. Change your glasses. Why? You're saying that I couldn't see something here? No, it was the icons on the phone were lying to me. I'm getting wet from beer dripping off my moustache though. I do need to run the hedge trimmer over it a little bit. Or the lawnmower. Get that sorted. Okay folks, talk to me. We got 14 thumbs up, that's nice. Or are you saying that the light was glaring off my glasses? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you were going. It's peeing it down here and the jerk-offs are already setting effing fireworks off. It's like living in a war zone. How far off are we? Isn't it a good 3 weeks away? 19th. It's 2 weeks at least, isn't it? 2 weeks and the odd day or two. A Tim Allen Santa Claus beard you have. It is a bit that way. It is a bit that way. See, I don't think it was that long ago that I took it off. If you remember when I went to Tweety's, which is when I knackered my legs in, and then I think it was the week after I went to Karen's and she gave me the haircut and the beard trim. It's only 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks ago, isn't it? Maybe 5 at a push. Just listen. A car going past, but before that, somebody coughed. And I'm not sure whether it was in my field or on the road. Ever since that week of hell with the 2 hour running fight with the fucking idiot, and then the kids with the stones the day after, and then the storm. I told you about my pans disappearing. Yeah, I've lost 3 pans in 2 weeks, and just noticed that some of the other pans have got the lids missing. I think someone's playing funny buggers. I really do. Now I've got a few spares in here. I'm not sure what. I haven't dug down into the box yet. It's another job for tomorrow. I think I said it was a job for tomorrow, 3 or 4 days ago. But you know how I am. I'm great at putting stuff off. It's my superpower. Let me just go back. Okay, it's jumping. I thought someone had posted something, but it's... Yeah, no, it only takes... So I take it down like to the bone at the sides here. It's still got stubble. I left the goatee, but this was reduced a lot in size. I did leave the full Sam Elliott bushy moustache, but the rest has all come back to match. The sides seem to be growing so fast that you can't tell that this was trimmed and that there was only that, and even that was shorter. Don't know, folks. Yeah, it is like that. In the Tim Allen film, he'd shave it all off, and then like an hour later, it'd be back a full beard again. I'm not quite that bad, but yeah. Do they still do that charity, that Movember thing? Raising money for men's health. I could do that. I could shave the lot off and see how much of a beard or a moustache, whatever, I've got at the end of the month. I don't have people to sponsor me though, and I don't. What do you do? Nobody's talking. He's jumping though. I'm going to switch to top chat and then back to live just in case, because I have had it freeze in the past. But this is not that. This is just you guys not chatting much. Any more questions about my history? I can go beyond childhood and stuff if anybody wants, but most of you have heard it multiple times, so I'm a little wary to hark on it too much. Let me know what you want to know, or what we can just talk about. Not politics. We're not going to go politics. Has anybody mixed beer with orangeade before? If beer and lemonade works, I might expect that beer and orangeade would work. Would you ever get married again? Oh God, there's a question. Who'd have me? Fuck. There's your major stumbling block. That and the fact that I'm already married, technically. Those are stumbling blocks. But the main one, yeah, who'd have me? There's the other thing of after living alone for a little while, apart from my little doggy darling over here, could I put up with another person? I don't know. We have Radler here, lemon beer. Yeah, they have Radler here in Spain. It's basically shandy, we would call it in England. Oh yeah, go grab one. Yeah, do. Everybody should be on a tipple of some flavour. I always make sure to have something to hand when I'm here and talking with you nice folks. My excuse is always that the voice, the throat. Do I need an excuse? I don't know. But where was I? Yeah, they have Radlers in Spain. In the UK, we'd call it shandy. It's the same idea, a mix of beer and lemonade. Proper real shandy would be proper beer, not lager. Proper real beer. Ale, bitter, IPA, whatever word you want to use. And don't start with IPA's not bitter, because I can't tell the difference. The campaign for real ale folks will say there's a difference. That's a whole level. That's like wine connoisseurs tasting the woody oatiness of the barrel. Don't know, folks. Mistress is off to grab one of his Radlers. Hints and tips on how to stay outside the system and thrive. No idea, mate. I don't know how to do any of that. How to stay outside that. I don't. None of this is deliberate. I keep trying to explain this. It's not a. It's not a. It's not a lifestyle choice. Oh, don't do that. It's a circumstance thrust upon me. Yeah, if someone told you that tomorrow morning you've got to leave your house and just walk off, take what you can carry, and just go live out there, what do you do? How do you do? 2 months in the park, I found the dog walkers annoying at 7 o'clock in the fucking morning. I found the sprinklers annoying anywhere between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. But then again, that's how I got my water, from a broken sprinkler that was just bubbling over. Put the dog bowl under, rinse the dog bowl out, put the dog bowl under, put my hand as a funnel around the top of a pop bottle and pour the water in. After a while, someone gave me I can't remember if it was a 6 litre or an 8 litre bottle, water bottle. So once I drunk that water, it was a lot easier to fill because it had a lot wider neck on for the lid. But I got moved on eventually. Not by the police, just by the council cutting down the tree that I stored all my things under. But it was a clear sign of get the hell out of here. And I just walked down the hill. I had no idea where I was headed. There was a guy who'd once given me some food and he said, if ever you need anything, come to my house. It's number whatever it was on such and such a road. So I walked down the hill, headed past his. I had this as half an idea for a backup, this field. When I knocked, he'd split from his girlfriend and wasn't there. And so I came into this field. And after 5 or 6 trips back to get everything, mainly a lot of water, I kind of started to set up here. Went off for a walk. The heavens opened. Big black thunderclouds rolled in. Got back a couple of minutes after it started, so not too wet yet. And I set up my bed. Open in the field, open. There was no shelter, no tent, no nothing. So no, I got no idea how to evade the system. In fact, I'm on the system. You know, they take your fingerprints when they take you away, don't they? I'm about as on the system as you can be. I've got court papers and all sorts. I'm on the fucking system. Don't know if you've got any tips. Was it sign of nature? I'm guessing it would have been, based on the question. Yeah, it was. Ryan remembers as a kid sitting in the bar drinking shandy with the adults. Yeah. Yeah, back when pubs had family rooms and things. So as long you weren't allowed in the room that had the bar, but if there was another room and it didn't have a bar, you were allowed in. It would be like a family room. You could sit and have meals there, or sit with your parents while they drink. And things were a lot more relaxed back in the day. They weren't so fastidious with these rules. There were no ID cards and are you over 18 and all. You'd often see people that were clearly under 18 in there, but as long as they sat down quietly and didn't overindulge, nobody cared. It was the way that you introduced them and socialized them. You taught them the rules and they had to sit and be quiet. So they weren't, now they have to wait until they're 18 and have an ID card. And once they've got it, whoa, they're just diving in like fucking idiots. We used to go sit there, play a game of pool or darts, and have to be quiet like the little old men sat in the corner. We had to behave like they did, or they'd make us leave. And that way you were introduced to the pub in a more elegant manner. You didn't just wait till 18 and then, right, I'm here now, whoa, 20 pints and throw up, and it's a different world, different time. I think I've told the tale about how we used to go out from school at dinner time, lunchtime, and some would go off into town to fish and chips, but some of us would go and sit in was it the Broadway? I think it was the Broadway, which was a pub. Was it also a hotel? Because we were the high school, Morecambe High School, was just one row back from the seafront. And the bar that I'm thinking of, it was the Broadway. It was on the corner of a road where the road came down to like the school gates. So we walked in there and we were surprised to see the teachers sat at a different table. And when you see your teacher order his third beer in the 1 hour lunch break, you kind of got the idea that nobody was going to be reporting anybody for anything. It was, you know. I remember one teacher kind of raising his glass and giving us a fucking cheers. It's a different age, wasn't it? How did I get onto this? Oh, we're sitting in the bar. Yeah, that was Ryan. Sitting in the bar with the adults. I remember as well on holiday sitting in the car. Mum and Dad went into the pub, got the drinks, brought them out. You wouldn't do this nowadays. Sometimes they'd sit in the car with us and have their drinks, but sometimes one of them would bring ours out and then go back inside, and they'd sit inside for a bit of peace and quiet away from us three kids. Yeah, you know, it's a different time. It's like I remember my mum leaving my baby brother out in the pram out front of the house. In the garden, there was a fence and a gate, but fresh air outside, wrapped up tight in the pram. I was reading the other day, they still do this in, was it Norway or Sweden? Maybe both. And their temperatures are a bit different to ours. They wrap their children up tight, their babies up tight, and leave them out in the pram, on their back asleep. It's a way of giving the kids have to learn a little bit of independence. They're very keen on that in those I don't want to say Scandinavian or Nordic countries. There's a difference. There's no clear definition of either, but or there are multiple definitions of both, Nordic and Scandinavian. But yeah, no, I know that Sweden in particular want the kids to grow up quickly, be independent from the family. I was reading an article that some people expressed concern that it was about the government getting their hands on the kids rather than the parents. But I don't think it's that. That's just a cultural thing. They just do things different there. The past is like a foreign country. They do things different there. And you can reverse that. Other countries are like our past. They do things different there. Highs and lows of trying to stay on the straight and narrow. See, I don't have problems staying on the straight and narrow. I don't have any, like, criminal tendencies. Like the other week when I stepped in, when Matey Boy was trying to break into the petrol station, I stepped in where many, I mean, the phrase is stepping in where angels fear to tread, or rushing in where angels fear to tread. I did that. I challenged the bloke. I told him to go away now. And for my trouble, I got 2 hours of running battle and 2 calls to the emergency number that didn't get responded to. I mean, they answered, they took details, but they didn't come out. Not that I know of, anyway. Yeah. Staying on the straight and narrow isn't a problem. I was worried to begin with. I mean, for the first few weeks, you see, when I was kicked out by that friend, I was kicked out with nothing. Some of my own things that I could carry, but not a penny to my name. So that was a worry. But there was no way I was going to like become like some kind of thief or criminal, or I wasn't going to wait by the cash point and mug somebody as they got money. Um, I had no idea what I was going to do formally or how I was going to survive. It took me 2 or 3 weeks before I started walking around bins looking for things. Slow on the uptake. Um, now, staying out of trouble when the trouble's coming for me, like the police. Well, I've documented that over the months. That's been documented here. There's a playlist, Tramp versus Police. If you click through the name of the channel and go and look through you can go and find the playlists and things. So yeah, staying out of trouble is a little bit different from staying on the straight and narrow. I interpret straight and narrow meaning don't become a criminal, but staying out of trouble, I don't, do I? Like I've just said about the 2 hours of running battles with that idiot the other week. Half of it I'm fighting while I'm carrying a dog, or half a dog, the back half. When people throw stones at my tent, I throw stones back at them. Well, that could get me in trouble. But I would claim self-defense. I would claim that a rock is potentially deadly, and therefore I should be allowed to use potentially deadly force back at them, kids or not. And the idiot I was fighting with was throwing stones and rocks the other week. Same there. Basically, I sent a guy to hospital, didn't I? I put him in. He had to go and get his wounds treated. Not going to cry for him. Fuck about, find out. But maybe I shouldn't have let it go in 2 hours. I could have been a lot more aggressive, a lot more early, a lot earlier. But then you've always any kind of self-defense. You have to be able to state reasonableness. So you can't escalate too much beyond what they've already done. Do the same back. Don't know how I stay out of trouble. I mean, being a cheeky bastard, telling the police no. When they first turned up and told me you must be gone within 24 hours, I said no. And he said, well, I'm coming back tomorrow, and if you're here, you'll have a problem with me. And he kind of beat in his chest. And I sat here and waited for him the next day, and he never turned up. All the other times, you've got 7 days to move, you've got 10 days. And I'm like, papers. Bring me some paperwork from a judge. And then I found out it was a private field, not a public, and they had no right to be saying any of this all along. I'm just sticking to my guns. When they said no camping here, because I'm in a tent, not camping. Camping's a fucking hobby you do at the weekends or for a week. This is survival. That seemed to shut them up. And eventually they left me alone for a year. Maybe not a full year, but 8 or 9 months, was it? It might have been a year in the end. I'd have to look it up. Then they came back 2 or 3 times in quick succession. And then I've shut them up and they leave me alone again. So I don't know, folks. I don't know. You showed mercy, guy. Just didn't want to admit. The guy just didn't want to admit defeat. Yeah, he kept following. He kept doing the submission thing. He kept tapping out. Kept declaring no more, and then he'd get up and then he'd try and hit me. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't Marquis of Queensberry on my part either. I didn't stop just because he was on the floor. Especially once he kept coming back and coming back. I kept thinking I had to make an impression, preferably in his skull. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think have I missed him? Have I missed him? You handled it the best way, the best you could. I think. I like to think so. Forest schools are common in Scandinavia and letting kids explore nature and not bubble wrapping them. Yeah, yeah, it's that independence thing. Okay, Michael, I missed you. I missed your post initially, mate. Let me. Has them kids been back? Um, some kids came back, but I got a feeling that there might be one person in common between these two groups, but he might be the youngest one of the first group that were a real problem. Uh, he came back. Was it one day this last week? Yeah, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those days, and he had two or three others with him, but they were much smaller than the ones um, the week before or whenever that was. Uh, most of them missed. They didn't have the range. One small stone hit low down, bottom of the tent on one of the taps, and then they ran away squealing. I went outside. I got my phone and got the camera on full zoom. It might have been. It might even have been the tablet. I had it on full zoom by mistake straight away, and everything's so juddery, you can't really make things out. But because it was a tablet, it's bigger. They could see what I was doing, and maybe that, or maybe just maybe they'd had their thrill. I don't know. Um, I kicked myself because I heard them arrive, or I thought I did, and I hesitated. I heard I heard kids coming down the road. I heard the clanking of bicycles and or scooters. I heard them talking quietly and then silence and no more scooter noise or bike noise on the road. And I instead of getting up, getting my shoes and getting out, I sat here listening while it had gone quiet. And then thud thud thud, stones hitting the ground around, and then one small one hits. Then I had to get up and out, and yeah. So yeah, kids have been back, but not a big not the big problem. There's Oscar. I missed that as well, Oscar. Just hold on. It has been jumping around a bit. Loads of breweries closed down from the 70s and 80s. Pubs are going the same way. They are. And it's almost planned by the government, I think. Um, all of the, what's the word I'm looking for? All of the incentives or disincentives are in place. Um, kids are brought up now wanting to be healthy. If they're going to do anything, they're going to do marijuana. Um, so kids are not drinking as much. People are priced out of nights out. Beer's too expensive, so maybe you'll buy a few down the off license or the supermarket and just have them at home. Um, you can go right back to the smoking bans and similar, making people stand outside or sit in a shed. But even then, the shed has to be open on three sides. Um, all of that. You've just created a massive disincentive or multiple massive disincentives to going out. And so therefore the pubs lose custom and either close or reduce staff and everything and buy less beer from the breweries. Breweries therefore either shrink or close down. Yeah, it's all there. Um, yeah, they're pricing the normal working class man in particular, who, let's face it, would have been the majority of your customer base. Those are your drinkers. Pricing them out of it. Tax hike or they don't call it tax, do they? They call it a duty. I worked at Customs and Excise, and I've still got no idea what the difference between a duty and a tax is. I should maybe look that up. I'm sure I have done in the past. Difference between a duty and a tax. Let me close that down. Close that. Has anybody got the answer before me? Difference between duty and... Oh, and then you've got duties, tariffs and taxes. Oh, that's not right. The key difference between taxes and duties is that duties are a tax on goods entering or leaving a country, while taxes are charges placed on almost all purchases. They call it a duty. They call them duties that are levied on alcohol sales, off license and on premises. There's a different answer. In economics, a duty is a target-specific form of tax levied by a state or other political entity, but then often associated with customs. But I don't know. Somebody's probably got a better answer than me in here. It's jumped a long way back. I can't pronounce that, Mr. S. Actions, we call it over here. Maybe actions, I don't know. Excise duty. Someone sent them kids to bother you. That's possible. Michael says, hopefully they're bored and leave you alone. Now, I hope everything works out for you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And it jumped. Have you thought about bare knuckle boxing as a side gig? I did boxing, I think I've said I did boxing once upon a time, but not at any real level. It was more for fitness and what have you, but almost 60. I mean, bare knuckle boxing. Nice one. It's a giggle. I don't know about a gig or a side gig. Actions, or maybe actions. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Where are we for time? We've only been going an hour and a half, just over. What time to start? I started at 10, so it's only half 11. 20 to 12. My time might be different for you. First attempt was correct. Actions or actions. I can't remember what I did first. I'm gonna go actions. It sounds like actions, really, but I don't know. Pronouncing other countries' words just at random, without any context, without a vocabulary to build on. Didn't finish my orange yet, did I? Let's do that. I said before that I make sure that I've got beer in for when I do these TrampCasts. or Hangouts. I haven't got that many in at the minute. I think I'm down to my last, after this one, I think I'm down to my last 6. Also, I have run out of, don't, just pause. I've run out of money, like paper, coin. I had a tenner left, I had 10 euros, but Sanja, the lady that had helped with Tina's chariot, I owed her 10 euros from when she was here for the supplies that she used in customizing the chariot. She had to go out and buy certain what they call them, is it Jubilee clips? She had to buy some Jubilee clips and some Allen keys. Allen or Alum? Is it N for November or M for Mike? I don't know. And if it is Alan, why? Who is he? Who's Alan? You see, these are the crazy questions my mind asks if it's left alone for a while. I just start querying everything. Why is it this? And what does that mean? And why did they choose that word? Is it this word or is it that word? Don't know, folks. That's just me. Everything that's happened to you is now happening to the rest, e.g. banks, yeah, the debanking thing, deleting of live digitally, no cash, no jobs. I guess you could make that, yeah, you could draw those parallels, I guess, yeah. I don't think that says anything really, but Tim Allen's keys. Alan. Who's Alan? So it's with an N. I'm not sure of the spelling though. In my head it was ALUN, but oh well, I didn't know whether it was N or M. But there you go, folks. We didn't get anybody new coming, did we? I labeled the I titled the video, if you're bored or down or depressed, coming in and say hello kind of thing. Maybe they're lurking, maybe they're in amongst the crew there that are lurking. I was just looking at the thumbs ups and it incremented, so does that mean I don't need to say thumbs ups are always appreciated, folks? They are indeed always appreciated. And if you are new here, do come and say hello in chat. It's always nice to be introduced to someone new. Let's jump way back. You have a passive cough, maybe you should get checked out. It's a recent thing. I had a thing in the back of my throat. That's maybe a month ago, a day and a half. It was 2 nights really. It wasn't even there through the day. It went away, but each night it was like there was something in my throat, a bit of soreness and swelling. I think it's just a residual from that. It'll clear itself in the next day or 3. Every now and again I have it's not exactly a coughing fit, but it's a proper cough that actually has something move. So I think we're just waiting to get something up. And I haven't got anywhere to go to get shit checked out anyway, unless we can get the vet back. But yeah, it is starting to annoy me a bit. But I think I'm at that point where it's loosening up, and a good coughing fit will get it up. It's mainly a tickle, but there is, every now and again there is mucus on the move. It's a great chat, isn't it, eh? Oh guys, we're starting to approach 20 on the thumbs ups. 20 is always a good mid-target to try and hit during these streams. Hit 20, YouTube pushes the stream out to more people, and then I get more thumbs ups and maybe some subscribers eventually. At the minute, I'm running at +6 per month. 6 new subscribers per month. Mainly because YouTube aren't putting my videos out to anybody new. They're only pushing them out to people that are already subscribed, or that have already watched at least. Also, I haven't really been making videos. I've got 2 waiting to go out, and I don't know what I'm playing at. I don't know what I'm stalling at. One of them's just waiting for a screenshot from the other device. I just need to move a file across, insert it in the video, give it a final playthrough, and then render it and upload it. The other one's been hanging there for 2 or 3 months now, and still isn't finished. And needs a bit of editing because I put some captions up about the date I was originally intending to release it. I might even have edited them to a different date, and now that's gone and I need to edit them again. I've got to get that done. We're going to start getting out and about a bit with Tina's Chariot. I still want to do a sunrise video. I haven't done a clifftop sunrise video in ages. So yeah, we got these things going on. Well, plans for them anyway. My tent's still not dried out from the rain, however long ago that was now. When was it? Was that last weekend? It was the early half of the weekend, wasn't it? Friday, Saturday. Sunday never happened. That was predicted to be rain, and so was Monday. Those 2 never happened. But my carpet is still wet through. And it smells a bit, and the flies are loving it. And the field's full of flies because rain. Yeah. I don't know, folks. I got things to do. You're synonymous to the viewer's future. Synonymous, analogous. Oh, there you go. That moved something. I don't know where it went. I don't think it came out. Hope not, anyway. Don't want a snotty bed. Okay. Maybe that's it. Yeah. You think that I'm a sign of things to come for the rest of the world? I'm not sure, my friend. I'm not sure. I'm just hoping that there's a real world left once I try and get back to it. Once I'm able to get back to it. I don't want to go off into politics, but I am pretty perturbed at some of the things that I'm seeing happening. But I'm not going to go there. We're not going to start talking about. I'm desperately trying not to. But I did see one today about something like 8 people at someone's door over it wasn't even a Facebook post. What was it? The police had a phone call about somebody's car sticking out past the end of their drive and blocking the pavement. The pavement was about 3 meters wide, and the car, if it was sticking out at all, was sticking out an inch or 2. 8 police at the door. Don't like shit like that. It's jumping about, it's jumping. Chopped onions with garlic, where are we here? garlic and honey, or chopped orange with cinnamon and garlic. The juices of both techniques will be perfect for your cough and more. Now we're on the verge of herbal remedies. I got honey. I got bottles of honey, probably 3. Let's have a look. Chopped onions I've got. Garlic I've got at the minute. I've got some ginger as well. Honey, yeah. I don't chopped orange. I don't have actual orange, only orangeade. Cinnamon, yeah, loads. Every Christmas I buy another jar of it and never get through it. And then I forget whether I've got it or not, and I buy another. Or someone drops them off in a list, in a bag of ingredients that they've got left over when they're leaving the country. So much missed potential in our species. Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have some, aren't you? I mean, sometimes people just choose a path that's suboptimal. But when it's your leaders that are choosing the suboptimal paths, yeah, it's going to be bad for society. We've also got this bifurcation, this splitting between the left and the right, and the absolute hostility of one group to the other. People's inability to have a conversation and agree to disagree without it becoming a real full-on argument. Like, 2 people who are friends who disagree on one topic suddenly will never talk to each other again. I can't get my head around that because I've always had differences of opinion with people on things. And I can carry on being friends with them. It's no problem to me if they vote this way and I vote that way. I don't have to have a slanging match over it and start calling them all the names under the sun. But you've just got this growing split in society where people seem to be either way over this side or way over that side. Certainly you've got one group accusing the other side of being way over that side. Yeah, I now find myself being right wing, which is incredible for an Arthur Scargill fan or supporter. Don't know, folks. Life is strange, I guess. There are more comments. Don't mind difference of opinion as long as people made up their opinions themselves. Yeah, there's another thing, isn't there? Yeah, so often people just grow up and adopt their parents' beliefs. Whether that's in politics, whether it's in religion, or whether it's just in what order to wash the dishes. I think I've told the tale before. I don't know if any of you guys were here. Me and my wife, when we first got together, we could have the most incredible arguments about the most nothingness of things. She'd been, and the washing dishes was just a classic example. She'd been brought up with washing certain things first, like the knives and forks, I think it was, the cutlery. And I'd pull the plates and the dishes and the pans and the whatever else out, and the knives and forks and spoons will just be laying on the bottom, easy to find, because there's nothing else in the way. We literally had an argument about it. And it was one of those arguments, if you don't know what you're doing right, I'm not going to tell you. One of those arguments where she's in a strop all night and you've got no fucking idea why. I mean, you laugh about it afterwards, but But it's that thing, you grow up with, whether it's a way of doing things or whether it's a way of thinking about things or whether it's a conclusion that somebody earlier in the family reached and now you're expected to reach that same conclusion. Like I say, whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's what order to wash the fucking dishes. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, boil the oranges when I get some oranges, yeah. Karen doesn't wash the dishes, she never has. I never minded washing them. I think that's one of the ones that we would have split. Hello, Karen. Yeah, I should have said hello as well. What's your energy rating with your tent? I hope that's not a serious question. It's going to get cool in winter, isn't it? It's going to get cool. Hopefully not too cool. I am noticing already that when there is a breeze, it does just come straight through the walls. I'm not sure whether it would have been rated as a summer tent rather than a winter tent. That would be my guess. But I've got an electric blanket. I've got the EcoFlow and my solar power. The electric blanket has to be used sparingly from what I remember. I only used it, I used it twice as a test, and I think I used it once for real. And did quarter of an hour. I think in total, 1 hour of usage. I can't remember. I'm going to have to go read the label or watch some of the videos back from last year. I think 1 hour of solid use would have run the battery halfway down. So what I'm thinking in winter is, if I allow myself 4 lots of quarter of an hour at different parts of the night, or less if I can. So if I put the electric blanket on the bottom, I sleep over the top of that, and then blankets and keep the heat in, and just put it on for a quarter of an hour sometime early in the night, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Once halfway through the night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And if I need it in the morning for 5 or 10 minutes just to take the edge off, I can do that. I've still got hot water bottles. I mean, I don't want to jump straight to electric. Electric isn't an efficient way of doing heating. Well, you got to be careful with your wording there. It's almost 100% efficient in the sense it converts the energy one form to the other. But it uses a lot of energy to do it. So it's inefficient from my point of view. It's not ineffective, that's the wrong word. Unefficacious, that's not even right. Don't know, I can't pick a word. Think of a word and double it. Are you not well? No, Marie, I think it was, pointed out that I've got this ongoing cough thing going on, and so people are suggesting, I don't know, witch's brews to. It's boil some oranges and eye of newt. I don't know, but no, we're just talking about winter and stuff in general. Oh, Tom B. Stone, Tombstone. Yeah, that's a common thing, Tom. Tombstone. Rinse your plates immediately, and you don't need You don't need washing up liquids. You just sound below par. I've still got something going on with my throat. After I've been talking for, well, just you see that was exactly 2 hours as I just said that. My voice isn't the normal deep. It gets a little bit high pitched and a little bit croaky. And has been doing for a week or 3 now. Mr. S is off. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sharafsha. Thank you for joining us. You've lost your voice now, Karen. You've lost your voice and have a cough. Oh, it's not. What's that say? Covin Benny. No idea. Unless it was a COVID reference. No, don't know. Don't know where you're going there, Sign of Nature. What's the Covin Benny? Coffin? Don't know. You think you got at the beach, some guy who was coughing all the time. Yeah, you got to be careful around people who are coughing all the time. In winter, you're going to pick something up. Oscar's got to go. Kisses to her ladyship. We'll catch up later. Yeah, do. The throat thing is cov. You're saying COVID without saying COVID. I don't know. Not sure how I would have caught it. I talk to about 2 people a week in the real world. Don't know, folks. Don't know. Okay. I think I'm, like you've said, I'm starting to struggle with my throat a little bit. I need to have a good cough. And I haven't got topics to talk about much, but I think we're going to draw a line under it there, folks, if that's okay with everybody, unless anybody objects. Last chance to give us oh, look at that. You've just given us the 20 thumbs up. So YouTube might push it out to a few more, just as I'm ending it. What do I do? What do I do? Do I hang on for 5 more minutes and see what happens? No. The throat is definitely tickly again. Karen's having a lemsip and he's in bed. I've got some fizzy orange here, and I've also got I've got lemonade. I'm not sure that fizzy lemonade's got any real lemon in it, but okay, folks, we're going to draw a line under it there and call it quits for tonight. I'm going to see whether I can end things in the manner of the channel, in the tradition of the channel. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, folks. Keeping a tramp busy, keeping a tramp company on a Sunday night. But we're about to end it. So let me click here. Whoa! Oh, I clicked twice apparently. It's laggy. I gotta scroll and get the light. Don't want to disturb her, but there she is. Look, she's asleep. So, from Tina. And from me, Delta Mike. Whoa, got my hands full. From me, Delta Mike, out. Catch you later, folks.